Thank you for tuning into Splat Attack. This episode, we will be discussing the Weinerville Chanukah Special with special guests Manny and Max and Marc Weiner. If you are watching on YouTube, please hit the like button and subscribe. If you are watching on a podcast app, please leave us a review. As always, these simple actions make a big impact on our channel in helping other nostalgic listeners find us. If you enjoy our content, please subscribe to our Patreon. We have bonus episodes, watch parties, early access, and more. Go to patreon.com/splatattack. Now let's head to the ski lodge for a special time.
This season, Nick wants you to celebrate Hanukkah.
Weinerville! Ah! With evil purple space aliens! Prepare to meet your doom! These giant dancing potato pancakes! Taco on a snowboard! And someone you love!
I am your mother!
It's a Hanukkah story that's out of this world! And only Nick can take you there!
The Weinerville Chanukah Special, Sunday at 7, 6 Central, only on Nick.
Hanukkah, here I come!
Kick it.
Let's light the menorah and go for a ski trip, Slimesters. Welcome to Splat Attack, a 90s Nick podcast that dives into our slime-filled past. I'm your intergalactic potato pancake, Brett.
And I'm your dreidel spinner, Alex. And Brett, with the holiday season in full swing, what are we celebrating at the lodge today?
We're doing something a little bit out there. While most of our listeners are familiar with the customs of Christmas, we both felt it would be fun and an eye-opening experience to delve into another holiday, deserving of attention as winter approaches. Of course, we're talking about Hanukkah. While we mentioned it in episode 11 briefly of our favorite 90s holiday episodes last year, with like the Rugrats Hanukkah special, we're actually going to take a trip to Weinerville to see how Marc and his puppet pals celebrate the season.
Oh, I'm so excited. I remember Weinerville being all over in Nickelodeon for quite a time. So this is going to be a pretty fun one because Weinerville doesn't get nearly the amount of attention that it deserves. So, and not to mention that Manny, who has already made this wonderful tribute to Weinerville, we're actually going to be, like you said, talking about one particular special. So I'm excited to get this going.
Shall we light the menorah and start this special topic? Ugh.
Let's do it!
Wait a minute, who said that?
Oh, hello! It's me, Dottie!
Giant potato lockers! Yeah!
Oh my goodness, Dottie, you're all the way from Weinerville. How'd you get here? Come on, let's come into the lodge before it gets cold outside. Come on, come in.
Yeah, get cozy. Get snuggle up by the fire.
Oh, I need more oil. There's not enough oil. Oh, hey, it's Manny. How are you?
Hi, Manny. Welcome to our cozy lodge today. How you guys doing?
Really nice to be here.
Who's that beside you?
Oh, me. This is my son Max,
And also Mr. Marc Weiner himself.
Woo!
Thank you all so much for coming out for this.
Yeah.
What about me, Dottie? Oh, it's Dottie.
I mentioned Dottie. Yeah, so we have quite a few guests here.
Oh, you know you do, but only one who's important.
Wow, I was only expecting 2 guests, but we got double the fun.
Oh, me.
Oh,
it's Swiper.
oh my gosh, they just keep piling in. It's like a clown car outside. What happened? Oh, and Bodie. Oh man, wow.
God, everyone's here.
It truly is
Don't swipe that.
It's a Hanukkah miracle, I guess.
It's a Hanukkah reunion.
Yes. Well, I mean, you guys are the Weinerville experts. Tell us how you got into Weinerville. Like, Marc, Manny, tell us your background with it.
Well, my background started way back when the show premiered. I was 7 years old, and it was like nothing I've ever seen on TV before. I just loved how colorful it was. It was really entertaining, and especially the thing that I loved most about it was the audience participation, because it brought like this new light of electricity to the show. And no matter what happens, you know that something's going to be silly and fun at the same time, and also really messy. And I feel like that stuff like that gets a little lost today.
Yeah.
So that's why I feel like the show should be like more well known by other people, saying like, you know, this entertainment and creativity does exist. Like, I mean, my friends and I, we used to pretend like we were Weinerized puppets as well, because all the kids that I went to school with, they loved the show. And I even dressed up like Cocktail Frank for a Halloween costume.
Oh wow, that's
he was
dedication.
he was my favorite character when I was that age.
Can you impersonate him?
Happy Hanukkah, dudes!
Right on.
Pretty
man.
good, yeah.
Thank you.
Right on. Groovy, man.
I love when he tries to talk about the Red Hot Chili Peppers and why they couldn't come. He was like, real bad chili gas, man.
Oh wow, yeah, that's funny. That's actually my favorite band. I guess they were just too busy to get into Weinerville, but that's cool.
Yeah.
How about you, Mark? How did the idea for Weinerville come about, and how did you like get involved with Nickelodeon and having the show being picked up?
Okay, so I was a stand-up comedian and doing hand puppets. You know, that my puppets that were on Saturday Night Live, the puppets would go this way. You know, but then in the nightclub act, I wanted to be able to do many characters on stage, but to take a puppet off, you know, the audience is looking at you while you're changing. So I put a bunch of puppet bodies on a board, and I would just go from puppet to puppet with my head. And that's how Dottie started. And then I just started creating all these head puppets. And then I got on a show called Random Acts of Variety that was on, I don't even know what
I think Ha or Comedy Central, before Comedy Central.
Okay, yeah. And so the puppets started getting, you know, started doing a lot of, started getting a lot of appearances on there, created all these characters, and the producer said I should create a village where everyone lives. Created this place called Weinerville. And then we got a TV pilot for Comedy Central. The very first pilot, when Ha and Comedy Channel,
Yeah, the Comedy Channel.
the two of them combined, and the first pilot they did was for my game show, That's Not Fair, where I play a puppet game show host with my head, you know, and with real people. And we did the pilot, and they tested it, and they found out that it belonged on a kids network instead of, you know, the new Comedy Channel. My manager happened to be his sister-in-law was head of development at Nickelodeon.
Wow.
We went there. They said, we're looking for a show exactly like this, and that's what we did. Brown Johnson, who was in charge there, you know, gave it the green light, and that was it.
It's who you know.
Yeah, connections really come in handy in cases like that.
I have a question for Max, actually. Max, when you were on the show, do you remember any experiences, or were you just too young to remember? Because I know you were on some episodes.
The only I mean, I remember doing, what was it, Cowboy Bob? Yeah, no, keep it there. But there was a little giddy up dance. I don't know if it's in any of the outros, but I used to, because you know, when you're a kid, you don't understand like the importance of being on a set. It's just like a big playground. So I remember, you know, just running around because it was so cool. The whole village, it just all the puppet sets, and I don't know if it always comes across from home, but you know, there was the above level where Dottie was, and then there was like a whole sewage system with all the pipelines, and that was like where my head was because I was so little.
Man.
So everything was so big, it was like a real town to me. But I remember just like it just was like a playground for me. And I remember the smell too, because like you said before, it really did have that like dairy, like the rotten milk,
dairy,
rotten dairy, yeah.
like sickly sweet from the applesauce and the slime and all that stuff. So that, I mean, that was how cool to grow up just around all that stuff. So that's what I remember.
Definitely, that's cool.
Yeah, and I remember too, like the Hanukkah special too. Like, there's a lot of good memories from that also.
Well, you were older when we did the Hanukkah
Then,
special,
yeah.
because that was done maybe
5.
Not, thank you, 95, and we filmed that up in New York, in Westchester, New York, and
I think you were holding the snow menorah.
Yeah, snow menorah.
Oh, that's you.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So that's just some stuff that I remember.
That's cool, man. Wow.
Yeah. What about you, Alex? What's your memories or connection to Weinerville?
I remember Weinerville coming on when I was a kid, very much like Manny, and it was unlike anything that I had ever really seen. We've seen shows on Nickelodeon where you get to see the audience. I mean, you saw it a lot with some of the game shows, especially like Double Dare. You'd see the audience in the back, and what would you do? But what would you do was just audience participation purely, and all that was all comedy sketch, and you would occasionally see the audience. You never really saw a blend of the two. And Weinerville, I thought, was fantastic because it had that blend of all these things. And I wish I could find the commercial, but I remember that there was also one where Marc and Dottie were having a conversation about how the show was about the cartoons. The cartoons are the stars.
Hi, I'm Baby Jeffy, the star of Nickelodeon Weinerville. Nice try, Bottle Breath. It's starring me, Dottie.
Hey, I'm Marc Weiner, the host of Nickelodeon Weinerville, and the cartoons are the stars, not you guys.
No way, Mark. We're the stars.
Spend Sunday afternoons in Weinerville.
Watching cartoons. With us.
Puppets.
Watch Nickelodeon Weinerville every Sunday starting at 2/1 Central right here on Nickelodeon.
I really enjoyed the show, and I actually ended up going into doing puppets for my church, and I had done a lot of puppet ministry. Went to several competitions and got first, second, and third place prizes consecutive each year. Three, 2, 2, and 1 for lip sync competitions. But
you know what they call that? The 1, 2, 3 there. The Trinity.
Yeah. So just the fact that I know I've had some experience in having to work with puppets. What was your inspiration for wanting to use puppets so much throughout your routines?
I was a pantomime, juggler, a street performer, and that's how I started. And then I came to New York, and I saw a mime just do like this little walking thing, and I said, what would it be like if you put some clothes on there, a little mask, little face, puppet mask, and you would have a puppet.
What did he say to that?
Who?
The mime.
Oh, I didn't say it. Nothing.
No comment. Good one.
Walked right into it.
You mean that invisible wall he put up? Well, I do want to mention my connection to Weinerville before we move on, because I was definitely a kid who was on the off-beaten path, despite being like mainly an academic who was like really focused on getting good grades in school. My first love was always been cartoons, and it still is today, aside from my wife, of course. But whenever I saw Weinerville growing up, it like Alex, it was unlike anything else I'd ever seen, and it just drew my eyes to the TV like a magnet, like totally glued. And just being able to witness like a person interacting with puppets and cartoons. What is this beautiful, wonderful, strange place that I've never seen before? And it always gave me a safe place to just turn off my brain and go into a fantasy land where I can just hang out with all these different characters that Marc would do, and also enjoy some cartoons in the meantime, and also be entertained with different segments like what's the one with the ship and the tidal wave called again?
Captain Bob.
Captain Bob, that's it.
Captain Bob.
Yep. And also Playland, where like contestants would be wienerized and then compete
Playland.
against each other. Yeah, that always blew my mind more than anything as a kid, because I'm like, wait a minute, how did they invent a machine that literally shrinks people and give them puppet bodies? Because as like a 5-year-old, I had no idea how that worked, and I wanted to see what it'd be like to be wienerized. I thought, did their legs hurt once they got up because they're being crushed? I didn't know. But that was part of the magic and the mystery that made Weinerville so fun for anyone who truly got the essence of it and still appreciates it today. And that's what drew it in for me, and how it still draws me in with its sense of whimsy and wonder.
Oh.
And as much as we would love to talk about Weinerville as a series, that may be a conversation for another time, because this is more specifically on the Hanukkah special, and because we could talk Weinerville all day long, but and we want to. And Manny again has done a beautiful tribute to that show. So
Thank you very much.
I'm going to put a link to that in the description. So if you guys enjoy this interview with these wonderful people, check out what Manny has done. It's truly remarkable.
Wow, Alex, thank
Indeed.
you very much. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Wow.
No, I feel honored. Thank you very much.
Well, since we are talking with Manny, how did you and Marc meet?
It's actually really interesting. I actually wrote it just to make sure I don't get anything wrong. Okay. So let's rewind to 2006. I turned 20 at the time, and I wasn't watching much Nickelodeon around that time either. Kind of grew out of it in a way. And until we were babysitting one of my friend's little brothers, and Ned's Declassified came on. And it was the episode that Marc was on. And then it really surprised me, because I'm like, this is modern Nickelodeon. And I'm like, oh, that's Marc. That's awesome. And my friend Chris, he asked me, like, what's Weinerville? I'd never even heard of that. So I showed him a few episodes. I had episodes on tape because I used to record the show. I wish I still had those VHSs still, but I guess maybe the tapes were worn out or I accidentally lost them. But I was able to hold on to at least 5 episodes, and I showed him the show, and he's like, Manny, what is wrong with you? But I didn't care. I loved the show. And that sort of ignited me to sort of see if maybe the internet has any more information about the show. So I went on Wikipedia, and it was just a paragraph. It was this big, just tiny. And I was like, oh, this is bad. This is terrible. Mm-hmm. So what I did was I looked at some of the episodes I had. I emailed Marc, asked him the question that has probably plagued him for centuries: is the show coming to DVD? And during that time, I asked him some questions about the show. He answered me back. During those years, I attached more information to that Wikipedia page. I made an episode guide for it. And then after that, I bought some stuff off of the website. It was great to own some Weinerville stuff. And
where can they find that stuff, Manny?
Oh, Weinerville.com. It's also where you could get the silver golden hot dogs, as well as check out the Clearwater Sloop, which actually has a lot of great things to help the Hudson River be clean with water as well, which Marc also has a passion for as well. He's actually made a few things for that site as well. And
very nice.
Manny, I got to thank you, because first of all, Manny made that Wikipedia page, and I use it a lot, to, like, people go, what episode was it? I go, I don't know. Let's go to the Wikipedia page. And thanks to Manny, I think I'm 4 years younger than I really am.
What? Really?
Better go correct that.
No, don't you.
I won't touch a thing, I promise.
Never mind.
You wrote my birthday, it's the wrong birthday, and you gave me like 3 years younger than I really am. So thank you.
Well, you're welcome.
Don't change it. Don't change it.
I'm not gonna change a thing. I promise.
Manny,
So going back to the story, I just felt like that show deserved a lot more love because this was 2006, 2007. Everybody was talking about the other shows, mostly the Nicktoons, because I think at that time Hot Topic had the Nick Rewind collection going on with like the T-shirts and everything. And I'm like, there's no Weinerville here, and no one knows what I'm talking about. So I tried to like go to different message boards, tell people about the show, and just ask around if anyone has episodes they'd like to share or what have you. And I think after at least 15 years, we now have, I believe, the first complete season of Weinerville completely available online, which is great. I have to thank a few of my friends, Retrozord and Meredith, for releasing some of these episodes, and thank you wholeheartedly to them. And the coolest thing is Marc's and my friendship has been amazing throughout all these years, and I'm 100% thankful for that. Because, you know, in this world, no one really owes you anything. But when you could make friends like this, it's unbelievable. And he even made a nice message to my wife and I on our wedding day with Boney. And that's amazing. It was so great. So yeah. I'm 100% proud of that. Our friendship and Weinerville in general. So that's how much it means to me.
It's very special, and I'm happy that you still are good friends to this day.
Absolutely.
Actually reminds me a bit of me and my relationship with Deji McHale from Are You Afraid of the Dark, because I had a similar kind of parallel path to what you have with Marc in that regard.
Really?
Yeah, with like filling out an episode guide and going out to California to meet him and stuff like that. So it's really nice to see creator and fan come together for a common purpose and just really share that love that they both have for the thing that brought them together in the first place.
And you know, like you went out to meet him. Max and I are going to go to Manny's house.
Wow.
You almost got a spit take.
That's awesome.
Do it.
Manny, turn around. We're outside.
Hey! Look at that.
Well, to address what Manny had pointed out, yes, Weinerville has still not gotten the love officially from Nickelodeon and Paramount and Viacom. It's still not on Paramount Plus or DVD or anything like that, but I believe all of season 1 can be found via YouTube and Dailymotion, and you can find some of season 2. Finding season 2 is still a bit of a challenge, and you can also find the Hanukkah special and the president election special floating around also. So there might be a playlist on YouTube. If there is, we'll link it here so that way you fellow 90s Nick lovers can appreciate that.
Shall we dive into some more specific questions concerning the Hanukkah special?
Yes.
Cool. Because I'm itching to know, how did you get all the celebrity guests involved with the Weinerville Hanukkah special?
Okay, ask which ones.
Okay, well, we might as well go in order of appearance. So starting off with Marc Summers.
Hey, Summers!
What, Boney?
You ever hear the Weinerville Chanukah story?
No.
Well, you're about to. Bring it in, boys!
I always wanted Marc on one of my shows, and he was such a nice man, and he was recording like 1 or 2 studios from us. So I became friends with him, and I asked him, and he said yes.
Awesome. I'm trying to think some of the other celebrities. David Johansen, also known as Buster Poindexter. What's your connection with him?
Now, what seems to be the problem?
Well, basically...
I know. Hey, I'm Ganzakanaka, the wise guy. It seems to me evil space guys are trying to force your people to be just like their people, but you don't want to be because you want your freedom, but you're scared and you don't know what to do.
I think that I might have opened for him, and you know, at the bottom line, because as a stand-up, and I think that my the cameraman, Mark Pines, might have known him as well. So I think we asked him there.
Okay.
So that I'm waiting. There's going to be a great story on one of these people when you get to.
Yeah, I'm going to try and remember as many as possible because there's at least a dozen of them in here. Alex, you can help me out. What about Laura Keitlinger? She was the lady in the grocery store with like the applesauce in her hands.
Can I get half a pound of applesauce?
This part muted because YouTube doesn't like this part. How dare it?
You know what? Make it a pound.
Don't remember our connection, but
That was a great line too. She said, "I'll have a handful, make it two."
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
make it a pound.
Yeah, a pound, right?
I actually recognized her from her appearance on Dr. Katz Professional Therapist, which was one of the first animated comedy shows on Comedy Central. So I was wondering what the connection was there. Seems like there's a similar style of comedy going on there.
yeah. Now the Denny, was she? What was the name?
The one who's another Hanukkah
with Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, well. Looks like another Hanukkah with Beavis and Butthead.
So she was on SNL when I think I was on SNL.
Mm-hmm.
So we knew her. Now the wrestler, the big wrestler,
Kevin Nash.
You want a room with a mountain view, a king-size bed, a home entertainment center, and a personal masseuse. Is there anything else?
Yeah, Dottie, one more thing. Keep Bodie away from my potato pancakes.
Okay, that's great. Thank you. Bye. Zip! Yes, Daddy! Go empty the broom closet. I just booked it out. Okay, Daddy!
So Mark Pines was on the weekend. He had to go do a shoot where he was filming him, and he goes, "I'm gonna get him to do a cameo on Weinerville." So when he was shooting him for something else, he pulled him aside and said, "Would you do this cameo?" And he did that for us.
That was very kind of him. I was wondering what kind of beef does he have with Boney? Does Boney just like to steal his food or something?
They never even met each other, you know.
Yeah, they must be mortal rivals, or maybe Boney wrestles by night.
Yeah, you know.
No one knows my true identity.
Oh, Boney, so good of you to join us today. What about you, Alex?
Every now and then.
Can you remember any of the other guests who were in there? I know Auntie Dorcas. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but I know he's someone important.
Brian O'Connor.
That's it.
I, Antidocus, commander of the Kurg Empire, demand that you surrender, for I am your father!
No, you're not.
I am your mother! Mommy!
Don't fall for that old tree. Oh.
Yeah, stupid cup trick, I know it was gonna work!
He was from Shining
Time Station.
Yeah. Another. Now Brian was on Random Acts of Variety, so I knew him from that show, and I love him, and so I asked him to be on it. He was what was his character? He was like schemer. He was always scheming, and not like Swiper.
Swiper, no swiping. Stop trying to steal this episode interview. Oh, man. I used to watch a lot of Dora the Explorer with my younger brother when he was a baby.
Oh, thank
That's
you.
actually what I watched too, babysitting Chris's brother. And to be honest, I didn't know you were on the show, Mark. I found that out way later.
Mind blowing.
Definitely.
You have checked out my Wikipedia.
That Manny wrote.
I honestly didn't know.
Is it on Wikipedia now?
Of course it is.
It will be after this episode.
That's right.
I think it is, yeah.
Now,
that's so much fun whenever you find out that someone who you just admire and find out that they've done other projects. I had no idea that he was in this. So that's always fun.
So I'm kind of curious, how did you decide to pick the setting for the Hanukkah special? Because it's like set in a winter lodge. I think some people said it was Vermont, but I couldn't confirm it.
Yeah, it is Vermont. and we wanted it to take place in the winter, and so we said, where can we go? We'll get some snow. Vermont. So we all really just got in a van and went up to Vermont, and that week there was no snow.
Go figure.
But we needed snow. So if you watch the special, you'll see the snow kind of moves, like, because it's this polyester carpet, it's that
Really?
looks like snow, but it's not snow.
It's like those rolls of snow, fake snow.
Yeah, and like when Auntie Dorcas comes into the lodge,
I trip over it at one point.
kind of like please move, it's like. But when we're doing the opening where Boney is coming down the mountain, on the telephone booth.
Yep.
It's like wherever we'd have to. Okay, we're gonna go that way. Put some of that snow there, some of that fake snow there, just so it looked like there was snow.
Like around the frame to give the illusion.
Yeah, because there was no snow that weekend.
Wow.
Nuts.
I mean, when I watched this, you had me fooled. I thought it was just another snowy day at the lodge.
Yeah.
I
was freezing my tail off.
I'm freezing my tail off.
I guess the maid caught on to that because she showed up and vacuumed anyone who got snow on her floor.
The original line was going to be, "You got fake snow on my floor."
Oh.
It's a great fourth wall
the
joke.
difference. Yeah. I'm actually curious. What was the idea behind the giant puppet?
Oh, God, snow on my floor!
The puppeteer, great puppeteer. I'm so sorry, I forgot everyone's name because I'm so old. The puppeteers that I were using in the specials were Muppet puppeteers. So, but they created these bigger type of puppets, Muppet style, and he did that one, and he did a great job on it too.
Totally. The style of it fit in very well with the other puppets that were smaller.
Yes.
Yeah, it looked like the same material of Pops and Louie.
Yeah.
Look good.
I have a question for you guys. Did she scare you as much as she scared me when you...
When I first saw her, I felt like, oh my goodness, this is the Terminator of house cleaners. Get me out of here.
Yeah. Well, I love that sound effect every time she turns with the vacuum cleaner.
Yeah. It's awesome.
No, I think
I'm in love.
Yeah.
Right.
No, I was fascinated with it because puppets always fascinated me, and I loved how they were so versatile because you could do all kinds of different combinations of them. And I hadn't seen one this size on Weinerville before, and it did remind me of something that I would see on Muppets, but I didn't think of the connection whenever I was younger. So I thought this is really, really cool, and I really liked seeing it. It didn't intimidate me. I was just fascinated with it. It's like I want to see more of this character. This is so cool.
Well, it was a puppet like Professor Phosphate.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. Was Scott Fellows the hands?
Scott
And the voice.
Scott
I think.
what? Okay, Scott was a hand, and one was there was two people.
Yeah.
David Jordan and Scott. I think Scott was the mouth and the hand.
Which hand?
I don't know.
Left.
And then David would have been just the one hand.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe no, because it was Scott's voice, so he would have done the hand.
Marcus, it seems like you lost your marbles, Marcus.
Yeah.
So it's two puppeteers for the house cleaning lady, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
and David Jordan and Scott, I think there might have been a little tension, but yeah, something going on back there, because
one hand is going this way,
Right.
the other hand's trying to beat
the other hand's upright.
So we talked about that as being one of the highlight moments of the Hanukkah special. Do any of you have a particular moment that stands out to you from it?
I mean, I have one for sure, that the song, that the whole,
menorah song?
Yeah, the hammer came down, yeah.
Oh, okay.
But you gotta have faith! Can't you feel your heart pounding? It ain't right to be a party! Ain't nothing to be scared of!
And you know it's always right when you follow the light and the hammer came down.
That was like, that always is the moment in the whole, because that's like the gravitas of like the whole episode, where they're all forlorn and what are we gonna do, and just what an awesome, I mean, the whole thing too, where it cuts back to the flashback of Boney as the emperor, and then with all the puppets and stuff, and it was so cool to see the little, what was it, like it was the menorah with the moving mouths.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
sync.
that's right. With the highs and stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
It was great too, like those little soldiers walking up that way and everything.
Yeah.
Like those, it's neat.
Because the story, we kind of really embellished and made our own little Hanukkah story. But at that moment, you have David Johansen, this world famous singer, telling the story of Hanukkah.
Yeah.
And then when they're done, he's like, okay, get the heck out.
Yeah, right.
Oh yeah, because he kicks the door.
Yeah, right,
Yeah.
right. Oh.
Oi!
Well, he can only sing for so long before he has to warm up again, or retire. But he was great in that. I actually recognized him first in a Pete and Pete episode called On Golden Pete. He was the park ranger that tried to get Don Wrigley in trouble. So that wasn't his first time that he was on Nickelodeon, but it was great to see him again acting as a fun character.
Oh, great.
We didn't know that. That's cool. Yeah, there's so many great things. What was the chase with Sacco on the snowmobile?
The snowmobile.
Oh, I like that a lot.
That whole at the end when they're fighting the sectals and just that whole chase. And I remember with the tripwire at one point, right? There was something like that.
And if you watch the puppetry of Sacco on Auntie Dorcas's shoulder, we changed out. At one point
he was freestanding.
He was
or
something, without my hand in it. Oh, and then the dog.
Yeah.
Oh, Fluffy.
Fluffy was in there. It's like,
yeah. What is it, girl?
You got snow on the floor.
That was a great part.
Yeah, but you forgot one thing! Oh, and what might that be?
You got snow on the floor.
Oh, God, snow on my floor!
But yeah, he was like, Mark, were you on top of Auntie Dorcas's shoulder, puppeting Sacco?
yeah, yes, but where was I? Was I on a ladder or something?
It was the miracle of Hanukkah.
Yeah, I just saw arms
Actually
everywhere.
floated.
Yeah.
What about you guys? Is there anything that stands out?
I really like the menorah song.
Menorah, I'm looking for you. I can't elaborate and I'll make one today. Menorah, you know I adore you. Let's get together and I'll be right away. All you need is 8 candles and a shamus to light them. Ooh, now show us what you got.
A menorah. Menorah.
Menorah.
Menorah. Is that Laura?
That was quite a catchy piece, and it's always great to see Frank again rocking out, and all the different menorahs that people came up with when Mark and everyone else were coming into the lodge and just celebrating. I really liked the whole spaceship scene with the latkes and the little like dreidel spaceship on a stick flying around. That somehow made me go way back to a deep childhood memory that I remember just pretending to puppet with little cardboard things I made out of in front of set pieces or dioramas that I would make as a kid. So that's some of the childhood whimsy that I really enjoy that comes with Weinerville.
We found the buttons a couple weeks ago. The what is it?
Oh, like the space pins that they wear?
No, the one where
the ones that party, and the other one that.
Right.
Oh yeah, we have that.
Oh, cool.
Oh yeah, and they're like dancing to Gloria Stefan.
Yeah.
Manny, we have that downstairs.
Oh, that's so cool.
We
I gotta visit you guys, and I gotta check that stuff out.
We're coming to visit you.
Yeah, it'll be a second Weinerville Hanukkah special. It'll be at Manny's house this time instead of the ski lodge.
That'll be great.
Yeah,
we'll host a great party.
One of my, if not my number one highlight, was the intro when they were. Not Sacco, but they were skiing down the hill with the phone booth, because as much as I love specials, Christmas specials, Halloween specials, and all these things, they never felt big. They felt important most of the time, as in they wanted to tug at the emotional things, or whenever they're doing Halloween things, they wanted to be spooky, which is appropriate, but it was never big in scale and scope. And watching this intro, I mean, you've already got outer space, which is cool, but we've seen outer space in other shows, but and it's small scale. I mean, you could tell the little dreidel spaceship and things like that, and talking through the cup, which was fantastic. But then once it got to
your mother, you're not.
I am your mother.
Yeah, right.
Mommy.
But then once the Boney starts going down with the phone booth, and then Dottie is calling him, and they're trying to, no, I need you to come over here. It's like, nope.
Boney, I need your help! You need help! Yes, I do. March is cold, and he's bringing his family and a bunch of friends to the Weinerville Ski Lodge for a Hanukkah celebration tonight! Winter's coming, count me out! But Boney, you can sing songs and light the menorah with all the kids. So, you can spin the dreidel. So, there'll be lots of presents and all the potato pancakes you can eat. You know, latkes. Hanukkah, here I go!
And then skis it right into the lodge. It just felt so big. It felt like this was truly a really cool special you don't want to miss. Yeah, it was so cool.
Thank you. Sacco skiing, they're as a puppeteer, I always try to come up with make the puppet do something human like. And so there I always wanted to have a puppet skiing, so like with skis. I wanted to see him ski, and he does. You see,
the rocks too. I think,
yeah, he goes, and that's where you see the snow move.
Lift your hand up so they can see.
He goes, and then that's when you see the snow moving. And then in the special, the New Year's Eve special, in the New Year's Eve special, Sacco was on ice skates.
Oh right.
Because I always wanted to get a puppet out there ice skating, and
right.
It's a great way to test the boundaries and find new ways to express yourself through the puppet characters.
Yeah.
Because you don't see that often. You just see like typical ones that are in place or on a marionette. But what I love about your show is there's so much life to all the characters. Like they all have a distinct identity. They all interact with each other in very different but entertaining ways. It's lovely.
And each of them has a different functionality, and it's really, really fun to watch. I mean, Muppets, as much as we love Muppets, they're usually waist up, and you don't get to see them do a lot of physical things. Occasionally you do, but that's one of the things I loved about Weinerville, was because they were so different, and each of them had a different functionality and doing exactly what you said, doing what people do, and that was fun.
Yeah.
There's something so grungy about it because it's like it's not traditional, and that was like
Yeah.
the uniqueness of it, and that's just what I love about it.
Yeah. Weinerville definitely has an indie underground feel to it, but in all the right ways.
No, before it was you were saying the Muppets are the waist down.
Waist up.
Waist up.
Waist up.
Waist down.
No,
Hope not. We're not wearing pants.
Move the camera up.
in Weinerville, our motto is just get wasted.
Yeah, right.
Welcome to Weinerville. Let's get wasted. That's on the city limits sign.
That's awesome.
Which we also have that downstairs too.
Oh, no kidding. That's great.
That's
As a
awesome.
matter of fact, I just lifted it up yesterday and moved it over.
Wow.
I just moved it over a little bit.
Oh, just a little? I gotta check that out. That's awesome.
No, we're gonna come to your house.
Okay. Looking forward to it. Looking forward to it. You mentioned the New Year's special. That's another favorite special of mine. What was it like being Dottie, being rolled all over New York City in the TV?
That was great. That was another dream. I wanted to have a puppet, being moved around the city, and so, yeah, I was just.
Did people stop you?
Police.
What are they gonna do?
Right.
Do you have a permit?
We had mentioned our favorite moments. Manny, what was one of your favorites from the Hanukkah special?
I really liked you mentioned it earlier, was the grocery store scene. Just the sectos just like pouring cheese in their mouth, that string cheese.
Yeah.
Max, you mentioned the applesauce thing. And I think Boney was barfing a cake or something. He's like, "What? You think I did it?" So I love that scene.
Yeah.
And the Beavis and Butthead line was hilarious too.
Mm-hmm.
I love that meat scene too, where what was it, Sacco?
I am the Tiger Sacco. Yeah.
I am the Tiger Sacco. I am the Tiger Sacco. I am the Tiger.
I love that.
And that was the real butcher there.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Was it?
Yeah, the guy who goes, "Yeah, exactly. Yeah, guy he worked in the supermarket.
I remember that scene where, what was it, Sacco takes the whole row of oil.
Yep, the UFO oil.
Yeah, I always wanted to do that in real life, like after I watched that, but like obviously you can't do that, but it was the coolest. Like
it's like Super Toy Run, where you just push all the toys into the cart and just run as fast as you can.
Yeah.
Was there anybody there at the supermarket who had no idea what was going on?
Yeah, no, they, because they weren't going to close the supermarket for us.
Yeah.
So we just, they just kind of stayed out of the aisles where we were. That was at D'Agostino's in Shrub Oak, New York.
Well,
hilarious.
I'm sure when they saw two giant alien latkes just flailing around, they're like, "Oh, this happens all the time. I'll just go get my chicken noodle soup over here."
Right.
That's the best.
Gone to ShopRite.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have cared.
They don't have latkes there.
I'm dying just seeing that like in real life, just seeing like what's happening here.
I mean, yeah, just going to get your normal groceries, and then you see all of Weinerville just taking over the supermarket, the camera crew, and all that. What is this?
I wish I grew up in New York. I would have loved to check that out.
Yeah.
I would have had a field day with that. Great.
Well, speaking of food, I'm actually really curious. How did you come up with the idea for having giant potato pancake aliens for the characters in this story, Mark?
Well,
I thought you were gonna burst into song for a moment.
As you can see, this happens all the time.
Do you remember the time when? What year is it?
Hello, Maxie. The whole thing was Hanukkah is about latkes, and so we thought it'd be great to have aliens. I remember going into the vice president of Nickelodeon, Albie Hecht.
I'll be damned.
No,
no, it's Albie. It's actually Albie Hecht because he
Albie
worked
Hecht.
on Guts. Yeah.
Yeah. So Albie goes to me, Mark, I want you to do a special on Hanukkah. And I go, okay. And he goes, now here's a book that I think would make a great Hanukkah story. And I looked at it and I was going, this
is the Bible. What the hell?
Yeah, right. This is not gonna make. I go, I got another. I'm gonna take my own take on it. And he goes, all right, do whatever you want to do, but take a look at that book. It's good. I never did. And then Scott, myself, and maybe 50 other writers, and we came up with this thing. Ray wasn't in this one. Only if Ray was there.
Fantastic.
Yeah, Joey.
No, we just I did this thing with Ron Woods of the Stones, and what was it?
This is a separate story now.
What was 19?
It had to have been 80, 83, 84.
Okay,
maybe.
So same cameraman, Mark Pines, knows he's the personal videographer for the Stones, and he's also doing comedy videos. And so Ron Wood was a fan of Rocco, my puppet from Saturday Night Live, and he wanted Rocco to teach him how to paint because Ron Wood is an amazing artist.
Mm-hmm.
So one night we have Ron Wood, Rocco, Tony. Rocco has got a little puppet, Tony, and they're going to teach Ron Wood how to paint. So we just got the footage. I'd never seen it before, and someone from the Netherlands said, I have the raw footage, 45 minutes.
Over almost close to an hour.
Yeah. Of the puppet.
This is all to explain the I wish Ray was here thing that we said before. The whole thing is like a total mess. Like Ron is in a very like 80s headspace, if you catch my drift. And the whole thing is just rambling. And at one point, you with Rocco turns to the camera and goes, if anyone has any ideas, now would be a great time to let me know. Like, because it's really kind of, you got no idea.
We didn't know what, we didn't think about anything ahead of time. We were just, Ron goes, it'll all come to us. Well, it didn't. So I was like going, I wish my writer Ray was here. If only Ray was here.
But anyway, back to the Hanukkah.
Yeah.
Before we move on, I do have a quick question that's been like gnawing at the back of my head for all day. Is what do the wigs on each of the aliens represent? Because I'm wondering if it's like some sort of condiment for each of them, or is it just for the sake of silliness?
Sake of silliness.
Okay.
It was like Bride of Frankenstein. That's what they look.
Yeah. Okay. Because I thought
because
of the
we have those downstairs.
Oh, nice.
You want to wear them?
When Mark and Max show up to my house, yeah, I'll wear them next time I'm here.
Okay.
Max and I are going to show up.
Good. Before you see that.
The reason why I mentioned that, because my analytical brain, when I was watching as a kid and now thought, oh, that guy's is like white and curly. Does that represent maybe like sour cream or some sort of condiment? The other one's like salt and pepper.
No, there was nothing in there. Nothing for that one.
Gotcha. Sometimes an orange is just an orange.
Or is that what they want you to think?
Oh, geez. Now you're messing with me.
Artists like to find hidden meanings in things, even if there's no meaning in it.
Like that hot dog that just poked out. Oh my God.
Well, you did say waist down, so yeah.
Jeez. For our listeners who can't see this episode, you're gonna have to just assume that everything is normal.
Everybody, you're gonna need to watch this episode.
Yeah, on our YouTube channel, Splat Attack Podcast.
Yeah, podcasters who are listening, go to the YouTube page. It's gonna be too much fun to. You have to see it.
Yeah, Alex, do you want to take us home with any final questions before we do an episode synopsis?
Sure. I will actually switch over to Manny one more time.
Okay.
If Weinerville were to do a reboot of the Hanukkah special today, what do you believe would remain the same and what would change for the audiences of today?
Well, seriously speaking, I think I really like the way that it was told, because in this episode, I believe they say the story of Hanukkah 3 times in a different way. I just wish that the special was a little bit longer. Like, I feel like a lot more character development could have been more fleshed out. So I think in today's audience, or if it was streaming on Paramount Plus or something, I would think that it would, I don't know, they would try to make it more darker in tone. Like they might make Auntie Dorcas like a Marvel villain or something like that. And Dottie will be like, I don't know, some weird damsel in distress type of thing. And they're going to try to do a love triangle with someone. And it's just, I don't know if it's going to work out that well, but we'll see. Hey, Dottie.
What does she say about it?
Well, that face gives it away. I think she likes it.
Yeah, she seems open for the role.
Oh, there you go.
I did have one other question, because this came out before the Rugrats Hanukkah special, which got a lot of attention. This is the first thing that I can recall on Nickelodeon that really brought focus to Hanukkah. What was it like to be a part of that and bring this to an audience of kids who have never known about this kind of thing?
Yeah, this was, I think, the first Hanukkah special on Nickelodeon. And I actually had a conversation with Chris Gifford. We were going to make a public service announcement? What are those?
PSA.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, those. Yeah, that's it. those please eyes. No, son. So we don't need Ray anymore. So we had a discussion. We were making a PSI about PSA. No, we were making a
Pounds
PSI.
per square inch.
Public service itch. That's right. And so Chris Gifford, who is the creator of Dora, and I were having a conversation, and we said, this is going to be one of the very first Hanukkah PSAs, and do you think I can wear my yarmulke? And he goes, I remember having a discussion. He's like, I don't know. This is the first Hanukkah thing. I don't know if we should go with it. And I don't think I wore my yarmulke.
Not as you.
No, it was me.
No, but the Gonzer Kanaka had one.
Oh no! This was something else.
I think I might remember. Honestly, I think it was. I think you were sitting on. And I don't really know if I'm 100% right, but I only saw it one time. Mark, you were sitting on like a windowsill, and there was a menorah right next to you, and you were like, "From all of us in Weinerville, Happy Hanukkah." And I think that was the PSA. I'd love to find it, but that's at least what I remember.
Yeah, I don't think it was on the special itself.
Oh. No, it was just a regular commercial.
But yeah, a PSA, one of those Nickelodeon bumpers that they would often do for, Merry Christmas, Happy Halloween, Happy Hanukkah. It was probably for that, like you were saying. I haven't seen that one in a very, very long time. But
and since you said it was Chris Gifford, it might have been the windowsill in the Clarissa house, probably.
Probably. Let me check the Wikipedia page and see what
I'll add that on there, I promise.
Okay.
Nickelodeon Weinerville will be right back after these messages.
What is it? Is Santa here?
Not yet, but he's coming to town for the Rugrats Holiday Special. Tomorrow at 8:30, 7:30 Central, only on Nickelodeon.
What happens when 5 fans of Michael Jackson get together to discuss his music videos? You get a very special Splat Attack elimination bracket. Brett and Alex are joined by their wives and special guest Prime from Prime Nostalgia Podcast to crown one Michael Jackson music video king for the king. And it doesn't end how you think. You will only find this available on our Patreon. Head over to patreon.com/SplatAttack to gain access.
You're watching Nick. And now back to Nickelodeon Weinerville.
Well, that was very fun getting an inside look at the Hanukkah special. Shall we move into our synopsis of the episode?
Let's do it.
It's pretty brief, not as in depth as I thought. So if anyone can feel free to just add in whatever you want, whenever you want. But this is what I got from it. So
And this is mostly to give a very brief description to our listeners who haven't seen this.
Yeah, you can definitely check it out, Dailymotion, YouTube, or wherever else you can find it. The episode starts with two potato pancake-shaped aliens from another planet crash land at the Weinerville Ski Lodge, just as everyone is getting ready for the menorah lighting that evening. The aliens explain to Boney, Sako, and Dottie that they need oil for their dreidel-shaped ship in order to return home. However, while the two characters join Boney and Sako at the local Food King supermarket to replenish their supply, their evil ruler, Dorcas, tracks them down and uses his evil ray gun to make the Weinerville gang back at the lodge do whatever he pleases. It's up to the rest to discover the true meaning of the Jewish holiday from a wise man, David Johansen, and return home as free beings before they fall into the oppressive clutches of Dorcas. Short and sweet. And then, of course, Marc Weiner comes in at the end with his family and all the people who are skiing at the lodge, and we get into a rousing round of singing the menorah song and wishing everyone a happy Hanukkah.
And you could see Max when he was
5, maybe 4,
4 or 5, and now at
31.
31.
Time has flown by.
Oh yeah.
The scene that I kind of remember was when Auntie Dorcas walked into the lodge and tried to take over everything.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, Cocktail Frank was my favorite character. So seeing him and his band tied up, it was like, oh, why did they do that? And they're making him do that stupid dance.
That's
No,
right.
yeah, with the accordion and everything. Yeah. So I don't know what he wanted to do. Maybe he just wanted to take over the ski lodge until the Latkes got back, or was he trying to take over the holiday?
Yeah, it's a good question. It wasn't quite clear to me, but I can see him as like a Grinch type character where he just wants to make other people miserable so that he feels better about himself or just a sense of power.
Yeah, because he had kind of a childlike quality to him, because he's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, be sweet enough to send me a Hanukkah present," like
Right.
that. So
Auntie Dorcas was just chasing. These aliens knew nothing about Hanukkah. He was just chasing people and he wanted to enslave them.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of paralleled the story of Hanukkah, where, they wanted it, just as the Greek wanted to enslave and make the Jewish people and get them to assimilate into their culture. Auntie Dorcas wanted to do the same to these potato latkes people, and they were wanting their freedom and to be who they were, and the similarity between them running out of oil on their spaceship and the whole thing with the menorah and running out of oil, and the miracle of Hanukkah was that one thing of oil lasted 8 days. And that's what we only had, one thing of oil for the spaceship. And
They're not going to make it.
I did notice those parallels between the Latka story and then the retelling through Guns Like Knocker. So it's nice that you have different perspectives of the same story to introduce it to people who may not be as familiar with it from different religions.
I know it really made me think the other way too, because I didn't know anything about Hanukkah until I saw that special. So that was kind of like my very first thing of a Jewish culture that I saw, and I'm like, that's really interesting. I like it.
We apologize.
Apologize. Come on. I love it. It's great.
We're going to go to Israel. They're all potato latkes there.
No, that's really cool. Thank you for.
Oh, absolutely. You're welcome.
Cool.
You're spreading the culture, man.
Yeah. Representing Hanukkah the best way he knows how.
Weinerized.
Yep.
Weinerized, right.
Definitely.
Bring out the Renorizer.
Bernie, bring it out.
Hey, Manny, I just saw that for the first time.
You what?
I just saw.
Oh, yeah, he saw your the video
Oh.
that you did with Bernie Sanders.
I know.
Bernie Sanders. Yes.
That was cool. I never saw that before.
Oh, I gotcha. Thank you very much.
Oh, we should.
Everyone was doing a Bernie Sanders thing, so I wanted to do that for Weinerville.
No, funny. Thank you.
Glad you liked it. Thank you.
Do you have a picture of that? We can show it here.
What I was going to tell you guys before, we were because we're trying to figure out how can we bring back more like little episodes, because of like the short form media stuff like TikTok and all that.
Yeah.
So I had a really cool idea, I think, to do like a Hanukkah time or even like a Christmas or Thanksgiving thing with Pops and Louie, just like a cooking channel type deal. I think that could be really cool. But
yeah,
just to show
Pitch it,
them.
babe. Pitch it.
So there we are, right? Open the scene, right?
Okay.
No, but anyway, but I think that would be cool. So with the Hanukkah special thing, just them making latkes, I don't know, there could be something there.
And
Yeah.
and Mel's latke
Oh, you're dead.
is the recipe is my father's true recipe of latkes.
So stay tuned.
Oh wow.
See you.
That's right. So and we put that up there.
They're making a comeback.
How-
Wants Weinerville again.
How often was your family on set? Not just for Hanukkah special, but for all of Weinerville.
I mean, we had a place right down.
Yeah,
the
we
road,
had there.
though.
My Max's mother, my ex-wife, was one of the writers, and she was. She sat in the control booth because she knew what my take on things, and so she was my
To be like the go between.
yeah. So up in the control booth, she could fight for what I wanted. And so she was there every day, and Max and his sister Rebecca would go to nurse.
I don't remember because I was too young to remember that.
Right, but you guys would
Thank
go.
God.
You guys would go to nursery school, and then when we would come and get you, they would come to Universal Studios, and that was their playground. They had a free pass to go to Fievel's playground.
Ah, yes.
Sounds like a fun
cool.
time to me. Max
Did
is
you
like,
guys live in Orlando during that time, or did you?
Yeah, we went down for the 2 seasons of Weinerville. Yeah, that's right, 2 seasons.
Oh God.
And so we were there for like 3 months at a time, and we.
I mean, I just remember when, because you were still doing that when we moved to New York, to Katona, right? Because I think you would go back and forth, and I don't remember. I don't remember
anything.
Dad,
Mom?
no, but yeah. I don't remember too much of that. But I think for a year or two.
Let's check the Wikipedia page.
Yeah,
Maybe
right.
I'll tell.
I'm on it right now.
oh jeez. I feel like Weinerville is very conducive to memes if you can somehow mash the two together. Like just the style of humor would go together well.
I think it would. I really think
Yeah.
it would.
That and TikTok maybe. I think Weinerville
Oh, I
could
think
have a
TikTok
comeback.
will be perfect for it.
There was a time like a couple of years ago, like
the
right.
one just now?
Well, there's something else I want to tell him first.
Okay.
Back.
Would
you let me get a word out there?
Family banter, Splat Attack first.
I wanted to be a weenie.
Oh yeah.
Tell him about that.
No, he's talking about that line from the New Year's special with Paul Schaefer, where he's like,
Growing up, all my friends wanted to be either a Beatle or a Rolling Stone. But all I ever wanted to be was a weenie.
no, but I thought it would be a great idea for an app like a Wienerizer thing where you could scan in your face and then like play your friends just like
Yeah, on a puppet body.
Yeah, and like just have the same games that they had on the show. I think that would be really
Oh, yeah, like throw virtual
That would be
pies
fun.
or slime or something. Oh,
Yeah.
special topping. So yeah.
the
Slimesters. If any of you know how to code mobile apps at all, definitely get in touch with Marc Weiner and his son Max and make it happen.
Make this happen.
Right.
Weinerizer app.
Or just go to Manny's house.
We'll all go to Manny's house.
I'll send you the address. Because I mean, I missed my chance to see Weinerville live. So yeah, perform it.
Yeah.
Or if you ever want to meet me, I'm 24 hours. I'm on a loop all the time in this house, so it's all right.
the all Manny all the time channel.
Absolutely.
Cool. By the way, I should mention that we do have plans to cover the Weinerville Lost in the Big Apple New Year's special, so you're more than welcome to come back for that when we get to it, all of you.
Sure, man. We're Max.
We're in.
We're in.
Woo! Virtual
Awesome.
fist bump. Boom.
That'll
Manny,
be
Manny, are you in?
Yo, I'm in.
We're in.
Totally in.
that'll be our New Year's episode in 2023. So if you can remember that and book it on your calendar, we'll have you then for season
Also
5.
the 30th anniversary of Weinerville. So
Yeah, we got to cover that as well. We're big on 30th anniversaries.
Yes,
There you go.
we are. We've had quite a few already.
Yeah, golden hot dog. So you guys want to rate the episode before we get to our segment?
I'll go ahead and I'll go first.
Okay.
But I really enjoyed this. It had been a very long time since I had seen it. I remember it as a kid. I remembered the setting, and I remember just the outer space and how unusual everything was, because I had never seen anything like, not even on Weinerville, I had never seen anything like this, but it'd been such a long time. And then to go back and watch it again, and Boney writing his name in the snow, and I was like, oh, you did not. And then they yelled out, Boney, put down that lemonade.
B-O-N-E-Y. Boney, stop wasting the lemonade. I love these things.
All right.
I mean, it was so fun, and I really loved, again, the way you had told the story of Hanukkah 3 different ways. I give it an A. I really enjoyed this.
Yeah. And to follow up with that, I have a really bad habit, at least it's been established in at least 2 other episodes of our podcast, of like rating things lower and then bumping it up, because I must be in a negative mood earlier in the day when my back is hurting.
What did you do?
So normally I was like, I also have different perspectives of viewing things when I view them. And sometimes I don't see it the quite same way unless I let it sink in with a few repeat views. And this is definitely a special that has gotten better the more I watched it, as more things started to click. So I originally had a B for this, a Splat Factory, but I'm bumping it up actually not to an A, but to an S, because I had that much fun really getting into the story and the different perspectives and just seeing everyone go totally nuts with like having fun. Not only the puppets, but also Marc and the cameos as well. I think, for a Hanukkah special, not everyone might get it, but I think it's worth the time to watch it as like a piece of 90s Nickelodeon history to see what it's like to portray the first ever Hanukkah special for kids and also present it in a fun, inventive way. So for that, for the originality, for the execution, for the fun memories that it provides us, I'm going to bump it up twice from a B to an S. Splatterific.
Thank you.
Platinum hot dog for you.
Yes, that's what we're giving you essentially.
Manny, how about you?
An S. I just love it. I watch it every year, and I love its energy and its fun and all of its enthusiasm. That's why I want it to be longer, because it was 20 minutes just flies by so quick, and
it does.
It gives you like this sense of things. Like, I love to make videos myself, and I know I don't have the right materials and I don't have a huge budget, but you do what you can and you have fun with it. And then once the smoke clears, you come out with something that you're totally proud of. And I just love it. It just gives you that do-it-yourself ingenuity and sense of humor. It's great. It's just perfect.
I wholeheartedly resonate with that.
Marc, how satisfied? I guess coming from your perspective, how happy are you with the end result?
I'd say it's It's a golden hot tub.
I'm just so humbled and honored that you enjoyed it. And thank you.
Did it come out like you thought it would?
I don't. That's how many years ago? I don't remember. I didn't know what I had for breakfast. Where's my medication, son?
We'll take that as a yes. And Max, would you like to give a rating on behalf of Mark?
Just saw my pants.
He seems a little verklempt. You want to rate the
He's
episode
out
for
in
him?
the wheelchair. No.
Yeah, like you got, I think the S is a great one too. It's really nostalgic, and it's silly and wacky, and I've never seen anything like this show before. And I'm not just saying that because I'm your son, but it's really just I'm your son. Oh my
I didn't know that.
What are you doing in my house?
Oh, son.
No, but there was something on TikTok the other day. I'm sure you all saw it, but there's like a big nostalgia channel, and they reposted Weinerville, and like all the comments were like, "Oh my god, I thought this was a fever dream. I thought like
yeah."
I think I saw that.
But like that's the common thing where everyone is always like, I can't believe I'm telling all my friends of the show, nobody believes me, and it's really unlike anything that exists, I think. So it's cool that you guys love it so much. I definitely like it.
It's quirky, it's weird, it's beautiful, and I think that's what summarizes Weinerville in a nutshell.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I highly want to encourage for any of you Slimesters who are checking this episode out, and if you enjoy the Rugrats Hanukkah special, go check out the Weinerville Hanukkah special. Check out where this whole thing for Nickelodeon started from. It's really important, and it is silly. But that's the point. It's meant to be silly and have fun and just do something that you normally don't get to see. So check it out.
Yeah, and we also recommend
the Rugrats. Watch the Weinerville one.
Yes, I agree with Boney. Watch the Weinerville one. The Rugrats one can be revisited later.
Yes.
But also, more importantly, if your interest is piqued by the Weinerville Hanukkah special, definitely find some Weinerville episodes too, so you can see what their baseline is for what kinds of things go on within the town, along with the playland segments, the cartoon segments, and the audience participation. It's a great time. Lasted for 2 seasons. See what you can find and share your thoughts and comments with us on either YouTube or social media where we post our podcast episodes.
Again, we'll try to put as link to as many of these things as we have within the video. So go check them out.
Well, I think the menorah is almost out of oil. So before we head out for the episode, let's do a quick segment of This or That. This or that. This or that. Time to play This or That. So for This or That, we have just a couple of Hanukkah-themed options for you based on this special and just Hanukkah food and special in general. So just let us know which one you like, and if you want to explain your answer, great. If not, that's fine too. It's purely for fun. So we'll start off with the first choice: latkes or kugel. Am I saying that right?
They're different. They're very different.
Okay.
So I would say it depends on what kind of mood you're in. If you're looking for like a lighter snack, probably a latke. But if you really want to get like stuck into it, kugel's the way I would go.
Okay. Could you explain for our Slimesters at home what kugel is?
Yeah, there's so many, there's like a lot of different types of it too. As you can tell, I'm a kugel connoisseur. But like, it's more of a gelatinous, like it's like a pudding almost, but it's just more substantial, whereas a latke can be thin and crispy, and you can eat like a million of them and forget what you're doing. You're gonna have to cut into slices and
potato.
Yeah.
Oh, it's neat. I had no idea because I looked it up because I wasn't sure what that was. It looked like mac and cheese on like a tray or something. So
it's a lot. It's like brains.
Okay.
It's grated up
potato. You could do with
eggs.
Noodles. You could do it too.
And a lot of oil, and you just bake it, and it's just like, and you cut a slice, square of it, and it's so good.
It's more fluffy. It's not always so, crispy on top, but really fluffy.
Whereas
maybe a custard consistency.
Yes,
Neat.
exactly.
Yeah.
It depends on which one you get.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to get it.
This is a podcast for another day.
Pops needs to make it then, probably.
Yeah.
You don't know what you're talking about. You don't know how to make it. You don't know how to make it.
You burned my lunch.
You burned my lunch. You burned my lunch, Pops. Or Louie.
Oh my gosh. So, what are you going with?
Of the two, which one would you pick?
Let's say latkes for this episode.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mark, same?
Yeah, potato
Okay.
latkes. Vegan potato latkes. No, you mix eggs and some potato.
Oh, nothing gets past you.
That's
right.
Manny?
Yeah.
Latkes.
I also will say latkes.
I'm going to say latkes as well, because if they're anything like hash browns, then I can definitely eat a ton of those and forget what I'm doing. Question 2, beef brisket or roasted chicken?
These are good questions. Vegan option?
Delicious questions.
Do we have a vegan option for him?
Sure. What do you want for the third option?
Tofurkey, maybe?
Tofurkey? Okay, we can do that.
I bought us a nice big vegetarian turkey. It'll be delicious.
Okay, so Mark's going with tofurkey. What about you, Max?
I'd say beef brisket. With tofurkey a close second.
Okay.
too bad it's all the way down there.
Manny?
Oh man, I love beef brisket, so I want to go with that.
I'm going with the roasted chicken.
I'm going to go with the beef brisket too, because I'm a barbecue fan, and that's how I like it most often with sauce.
North Carolina sauce.
You like it the sauce? Huh?
I do. You like it the juice, huh?
I love it the sauce.
I like it the juice. Oh, good old Rob Schneider.
You like it the juice, huh?
Yeah, we're getting a call from the manager. He wants to know if you like the juice.
I do. I like it the juice.
I like it the juice.
This is a very unique episode we're doing.
I know. I kind of wish that it was more lively, right? It's kind of just fell flat.
You like it the episode, huh?
You like it the episode?
Like it the episode.
Like it the episode.
Okay. I think
Like it the episode.
Yeah, we do. Slimesters, hopefully you do too. Question 3.
You like it the slime, huh?
No, I like it the gack.
You like it? Oh, I like it again.
We're never finishing this episode. Question 3, ski lodge or outer space?
You like it out of space, eh?
Suffocating here.
You like it in water, too, eh? You like it
Yeah. Ski lodge or outer space? Well, what do you prefer?
Outer space.
I hate cold, and space
Yeah.
is colder. So
I
ski
am
lodge.
miserable right now. I hate the cold.
I'm going with ski lodge because it's cozy, and I have relatives in Vermont, so I would definitely visit them and go to ski lodge while they go ski.
Yeah, ski lodge is a good one too. I'm going for ski lodge.
You like it a ski lodge. You like it a ski lodge. You were liking me to stop, huh?
I would.
You wanted me to stop. I stop.
It's a good thing. I acknowledge.
Quiet is good.
Yeah, it's okay.
Quiet is good.
Safe space. It's really serious.
You like it the quiet.
Very much.
What do you like? Do you like space?
I like it in space. The ski lodge, it's nice and warm. Oh, you like it warm, huh? You like it warm, huh?
Question 4, Boney or Sacco? Which puppet do you prefer in this special?
Boney.
I'm gonna go with Sacco. I found him particularly poignant in this, especially with the whole skiing thing and on the snowmobile with the kick butt license plate on the back. I got a kick out of that.
No pun intended, too, right?
Yeah. He just
at first instinct was to go with Boney, but yeah, much like you said, Brett, I really liked Sacco's.
Sacco really made the story.
Yeah, he really did.
I'm gonna go with Boney. What you're looking at me like? I was just gonna say go with Boney because he's so loud and opinionated, and he really gets put in his place in this episode, if I remember correct, with Gonza Kanaka, right? Doesn't he hit him over the head at one point? He's just trying to get through it, and then he says, but we have to. I think there's a scene in the parking lot, right, with you and Boney, unless I'm hallucinating right now. But
well, he does get knocked up by Miss Kababo with the not knocked up, but he gets knocked out. He gets knocked out with the vacuum cleaner. You've got snow on my floor, and then boom, and then that's when he said, "I think I'm in love."
He gets humbled in this episode.
Yeah, love struck.
I like that. He shows a different side to him. And you?
So. You like
come
it.
on, no
you
more.
know, like it.
You can pick both. I never said you had to choose one or the other.
Let's go with both.
Okay, both for Mark.
Yeah, you can't ask me that question.
Yeah, it's like choosing between your left and right hands. You gotta have both.
Right.
Last question for this or that: Mark Summers or David Johansen as your favorite celebrity guest?
Mark.
I'm going to go with David Johansen on this one. I really liked his performance.
He did great, yeah.
I'm going to go with David Johansen.
I'd say Mark Summers, probably, because he was such a huge part of my childhood.
Well, that was a very Hanukkah this or that. Good choices, everybody. Slimesters at home, let us know what you'd pick too. All right, since we're running short on time, we're going to do just one of these letters. So let's get out Mona's mailbag from Camp Anawana and see who wrote into us today, shall we?
Mailbag! These are for you!
Okay, so we have a letter from Nick Fisher, and he actually responded to my Nightmares as a Child episode based on Peaches, which I thought was really interesting, because I never get any feedback on those despite telling people to let me know about them. So Nick Fisher sent me a letter that's titled Nightmares. And here's what he said. You nailed it, sir. That one Rocco episode, To Heck and Back, always stuck out to me because of Peaches, and especially the ending scene. However, it never gave me nightmares, but it sure did and still does give me an eerie feeling. The whole point you made about feeling safe at the end, only to have Peaches emerge at the end, really took the words out of my mouth as the podcast was playing. As far as real nightmares go, I'd have to say I constantly had this Alice in Wonderland syndrome thing, which really freaked me out as a kid. Objects in the room would be bigger or smaller, and my hands and body became bigger and smaller as the dream progressed. The nightmare part was that it felt all too real, like it wasn't a dream, and various objects just kept changing size. I'd much rather have Peaches in my dreams than go through that stuff again. Great pod. Keep up the great episodes. My only criticism I have is that gurgling sound in the background. Gives me a real Peaches vibe. Best, Nick. Well, thank you, Nick, for writing in those interesting thoughts regarding my Nightmares as a Child episode. And for those who haven't tuned into those minisodes, they're basically me connecting some of my childhood nightmares that I had around the time I watched 90s Nick to some episodes that I watched. It's a little bit different, a little bit darker. So, if you haven't seen those already, check those out. But in response to Nick, all right then, Alice in Wonderland nightmares. That's pretty freaky. I guess some people aren't as scared as Peaches as I thought they'd be. To me, he looked like a very strange looking executioner that was a cross between Freddy Krueger and a cow's udder. But, different strokes for different folks. And in regards to that gurgling sound, I'm pretty sure the bubbling from the slime tank isn't in the background. I'm pretty sure that's like campfire sounds because my background is hell, fire and brimstone everywhere for setting the scene of the episode. But I appreciate your concern. We've had a few people write in saying the gurgling is a little bit too loud for previous episodes of Slime Tank. So we took note of that and we toned it down a bit so it's more palatable for podcast listening. So thank you, Nick, for writing into us.
And yes, anybody, if you have any criticisms or anything, please let us know, because we want to make these episodes more fun and entertaining for you. So we definitely listen to you.
Yep. We're always looking to improve. We just need to hear from you what works and what doesn't work. All right, guys. Here's our closing question. What Weinerville specials do you enjoy the most? We've talked a little bit about the Hanukkah special here today, but there's also a New Year's special, a President's special, and what else is there? Is there any others?
I think it's just those three.
Okay, yeah. Let us.
If you want to talk about Agabed, that's kind of one.
Okay. Yeah. There's tons of Weinerville specials. Let us know what you appreciate. Or if you have any particular Weinerville memories you want to share with us, let us know at splatattack2021@gmail.com or DM us on Instagram at Splat Attack Podcast. You can also simply leave us comments on this video on our YouTube channel, Splat Attack Podcast. So with that being said, thank you, Mark. Thank you, Max. Thank you, Manny, Boney, Dottie, and Swiper for joining us today. Holy moly, I did not expect everyone to show up. We had a lot of laughs. We had a lot of fun. And is there anything any of you would like to plug before you go?
You guys were great. I really, you guys were a great host. And we appreciate that you took the time to remember Weinerville, and just really want to take an opportunity to thank Manny for all that he does for Weinerville.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Very talented guy.
Also, be sure to check out Manny's art profile. You can follow that on Instagram at humblyartsy.
I agree.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, we'll definitely be seeing more of you guys in the future on our podcast, because this was a total blast, and I'm sure there's much more content we can cover together.
Now, this episode was boring, right? So yeah.
Max and I are also going to come to your guys' house.
Oh no! How'd they get our address?
You like us to come visit, huh?
only if you bring your golden wieners with you. There it is. There that is too. The squeaky one.
Yeah.
No, this is not the squeaky.
Oh, Manny was holding it.
Yes, Manny's got the squeaky.
Manny, you like it squeaky, huh?
I know the squeaky.
Well, everyone squeaks their wieners. Tune in next time. Tune in next time as we stuff our stockings, write our wish lists, and head to Christmas Cabin Getaway with the Pickles family in our episode review of Rugrats, The Santa Experience. We're having a guest from Season 2 return for the celebration, so we're excited to be covering this episode with them. You don't want to miss it. Without further ado, Alex, will you drain the slime tank for us, please? Sako's going to teach me how to snowboard in preparation for our next holiday episode.
Aye, Co-Captain. Just make sure you don't track snow on the floor.
Uh-oh.
Oh, God, snow on my floor.
Uh-oh. I don't think I'm ready to meet the mate quite yet. Let me go over here before she finds out. Let me get these boots off. Ugh. Splat you later, Gackoids. I mean, Slimesters. I mean, Wiener Squeakers.
Bye.
Reprise the theme song and roll the credits.
Hard to believe, folks, but it's time to say goodbye.
Nighty-night.
Hey, check us out next time for more adventure and another great legend of the Hidden Temple.
What'll we do till then?
Chill for a couple. We'll be back. You're on, Nick.
And it was time for the superhero to move on.
I declare this meeting of the Midnight Society closed.
Bye-bye.
I'm looking for you. I candelabra and I think for today. Menorah, you know I adore you. Let's get together and I'll be right away. All you need is 8 candles and a shaman's kaleidoscope. Now show us what you got.
A menorah.
Menorah.